The short answer to this question is yes. The internals of our Kubernetes cluster are going to change based on where exactly our cluster runs. Let's go back to our high level diagram of a Kubernetes cluster. Remember that Kubernetes runs on some low level infrastructure. Those are the nodes. Some of those nodes are going to be designated as the masters, and those masters collectively form the control plane. The remaining nodes or worker nodes or minions are going to actually host our pods which host our code. Let's focus for a moment on the control plane. Recall that within the control plane, there are four different important constituents. There is a scheduler, there is an API server which understands the JSON or the YAML, which is usually sent to it using HTTP post requests. Then there is a controller manager, and this controller manager is really where most of the change happens based on the underlying infrastructure. If we are running Kubernetes on the cloud, this controller manager is going to be of the type cloud controller manager, and various details internals of this cloud controller manager are dependent on which particular cloud provider we are going with. On the other hand, if we are running Kubernetes on bare metal or on virtual machines in an on-prem data center, this controller manager is going to be a kube controller manager. And once again, the components internally are going to be agnostic of any cloud provider in this case. So at a high level in the control plane, the big variable which depends on the choice of cloud provider is the controller manager. Let's now turn our attention very quickly to the pods and to the worker nodes or the minions. Remember that within the pods lie individual containers. Those containers are going to share state, and those containers are going to be governed by various specifications of the pod. Pods in turn are usually a part of higher level abstractions called deployments or replica sets. Within the containers or within the pods, there are going to be some storage abstractions called volumes. We have yet to describe these in detail, but these volumes are also going to be cloud specific. So for instance, if your container is running on the Google Kubernetes engine, then you would use a different type of volume than you would if you were running Kubernetes on AWS.